Hello everyone, my name is Ryan Dunsbergen and I am an agronomist with Golden Harvest Seeds in Southern Iowa. Today I want to take the time to discuss with you the importance of getting Plant 2020 off to a good start. There's a little adage out there that goes something like this: there's never time to do it right, but there's always time to do it over. Replants are always tough, and we do not want to do things over this year. With the current condition that our country is in and the pandemic we're experiencing, replants could be even more painful than normal in 2020. So what are some things we can do to help ensure that we can do things right the first time this year? First, let's talk about nutrients. Anhydrous ammonia. If you're applying anhydrous ammonia this spring, please ensure that field conditions are fit. You want to ensure that the anhydrous is sealing properly, and you do not want to be slabbing the soil. If you slab the soil, that provides an avenue for that anhydrous ammonia to leak up that knife track and possibly cause additional anhydrous ammonia burn to your seedlings. Much akin to what we saw in 2018, where guys were out patching in fields where they had reduced stands due to anhydrous ammonia burn. Sulfur. I would encourage you to get some sulfur applied out in your fields yet this spring. Sulfur does a really good job of helping your corn plants to both uptake and utilize nitrogen more efficiently. Sulfur is a great nutrient to have available to your corn crop. A good rule of thumb is for every 10 pounds of nitrogen that you apply, also apply 1 pound of sulfur. So the ratio there is 10-1. Also think about P and K. Take a look at your soil sample results. Which fields would benefit from a P and K application? Which ones maybe not so much? And a special call out to your 2019 prevent plant acres. If you experienced prevent plant acres in 2019 and those soils were bare all season long, you may experience fallow field syndrome in 2020. This will be due to the lack of mycorrhizae that are naturally occurring in those soils. These mycorrhizae help make phosphorus available to the plant. So one of the ways to help overcome that is by banding a phosphorus application in those fields. So let's move on to chemicals and weed ID. Weed ID is going to be very important this spring. There's a lot of shepherd's purse, there's a lot of pennycress, henbit, purple dead nettle, mare's tail, catchweed bed straw. There are a lot of broadleaves, winter annual broadleaves out in the fields right now. Knowing what you have and spraying appropriately is going to help. Start clean and stay clean. A good example is catchweed bed straw. 2,4-D does a very average job of controlling catchweed bed straw. And what about your winter annual grasses? Do you have grasses out there that are roughly this tall, nice and green? You're going to need to tank mix in some Roundup at pretty aggressive rates to take care of downy brome or Carolina foxtail or something along those lines of the winter annual grasses. So start clean, stay clean, ensure that you have a good residual going down up front, and then 30 to 35 days later, following that back up with another residual application. So now let's talk about seed. The number one thing to remember on seed: right variety, right acre, right population. Those are the things you've got to keep in mind. Contact your seed advisor. Your Golden Harvest Seed Advisor will help you in doing this. We have a great new tool called Illuminate. We can come up with a game plan for you on that. We can help you decide which hybrid goes on which field and at the right population. This is not the type of year where we can afford to simply grab the hybrid that's closest to the door and load into the planter. After that, let's take a look at field conditions. Again, field conditions are king. It's very important to remember this. You also want to be planting into a warming trend. You want the soil temps to be 50 degrees and warming. But listen, soil conditions are king in this situation. I have seen people plant into warming soil conditions where the conditions were average at best, and they did not get away with it. They ended up having to do some replanting, and a special exhortation to no-tillers. It may be dry on the top inch and a half of the soil, but if it's still mucky underneath at 2 to 2.5 inches, the field is not fit. You may get away with it, you may not. So remember, soil conditions are king. You can't always plant into a warming trend, and I understand our windows of planting are getting smaller and smaller. But if your soil conditions are fit and fit well, your seedlings will be able to handle that situation a lot better. And then last but not least on the seed treatment. I never want to plant a naked seed into the soil. A fantastic seed treatment is Cruiser Max with Saltro, especially if you're looking for sudden death protection. So that wraps things up for today. Again, we want to ensure that we are doing things well the first time. There's never time to do it right, but there's always time to do it over, is not the mantra we want to live by in 2020. Thanks for listening. And again, my name is Ryan Dunsbergen with Golden Harvest Seeds.